C. In the summer of 1969, a series of brutal, seemingly random murders sent shockwaves through Los Angeles and shattered the peace and love dream of the 1960s. The perpetrators weren't your typical criminals. They were a devoted group of young people, a so-called family, all under the spell of one charismatic and deeply disturbed man, Charles Manson. How did this happen? How did a group of seemingly ordinary kids become instruments of such horrific acts? Today, we're diving deep into the dark story of the Manson family. From their origins in the counterculture haze to the bloody crimes that marked the end of an era. To understand the Manson family, you first have to understand Charles Manson himself. Born in 1934, Manson spent most of his early life in and out of institutions and prisons. He was a petty criminal, a manipulator, and a failed musician who harbored deep-seated resentments against society. In 1967, he was released from prison and landed right in the middle of San Francisco's Summer of Love. This was a perfect storm. The Haight-Ashbury district was teeming with young, disillusioned runaways, searching for meaning, community, and a new way of life. Manson, with his intense gaze, anti-establishment rhetoric, and guitar, presented himself as a guru, a messiah figure. He offered them a sense of belonging they craved. He gathered a following, mostly young women, who were drawn to his charisma and his promise of a utopian family, free from the constraints of the straight world. They saw him not as a con man, but as a spiritual leader who held the secrets to the universe. He preyed on their vulnerabilities, isolating them from their past lives and making them completely dependent on him. By 1968, the group, now known as the Manson family, had moved to Spahn Ranch, a dilapidated old movie set on the outskirts of Los Angeles. Life at the ranch was a bizarre mix of communal living, drug use, and Manson's increasingly dark teachings. This is where his infamous helter-skelter philosophy took shape. Manson became obsessed with the Beatles' White Album, believing it contained hidden messages meant just for him. He interpreted the song Helter Skelter as a prophecy of an impending apocalyptic race war. He preached that this war would pit black people against white people, resulting in total chaos. Manson and his family would hide out in the desert in a mythical bottomless pit and emerge after the conflict to take control and rule the New World Order. But there was a problem. The war wasn't starting on its own. Manson believed he had to show Blackie how to do it. He decided the family needed to commit a series of shocking, brutal murders and pin them on black activists to ignite the helter-skelter he so desperately envisioned. This twisted ideology culminated in 2 nights of unimaginable terror in August 1969. On the night of August 8, Manson sent 4 of his most loyal followers, Tex Watson, Susan Atkins, Patricia Krenwinkel, and Linda Casabianca, a house at 10,050 Cielo Drive. He instructed them to totally destroy everyone in it. As gruesome as you can. The home was rented by film director Roman Polanski and his wife, actress Sharon Tate, who was 8.5 months pregnant. That night, the group brutally murdered Tate, along with her friends J.C. Bring, Wojciech Frykowski, and Abigail Folger. Also killed was Stephen Parent, a young man who was just visiting the property's caretaker. The crime scene was horrific. The victims suffered numerous wounds, and the word pig was scrawled in blood on the front door. The city of Los Angeles was thrown into a state of panic. The randomness and sheer brutality of the attack terrified everyone. Hollywood stars went into hiding, and gun sales skyrocketed. The terror wasn't over. The very next night, Manson himself went along with 6 members of his family, looking for more victims. They randomly chose the home of a wealthy grocery store executive, Leno LaBianca, and his wife Rosemary. Manson and Tex Watson tied up the couple, and then Manson left, instructing his followers to carry out the murders. The LaBiancas were killed with the same ferocity as the victims the night before. This time, the killers wrote, "Rise and death to pigs," on the walls, and Helter Skelter misspelled on the refrigerator door, all in their victims' blood. For months, the Los Angeles Police Department was baffled. They initially saw no connection between the Tate and LaBianca murders. The breakthrough came from an unlikely source. Susan Atkins, who was in jail on an unrelated charge, started bragging to another inmate about her involvement in the Tate murders. This confession was the key that unlocked the entire case. The investigation quickly zeroed in on the strange commune living at Spahn Ranch. Slowly, The pieces fell into place, and the world was introduced to the horrifying reality of the Manson family. The trial that followed was a media circus. Manson, ever the performer, carved an X into his forehead, an act his female followers in the courtroom quickly copied. He constantly disrupted the proceedings, and his followers held a vigil outside the courthouse, maintaining their loyalty and belief in him. The prosecutor, Vincent Bugliosi, masterfully laid out the case, explaining Manson's helter-skelter motive, proving that even though Manson did unphysically kill most of the victims, he was the mastermind who orchestrated the entire thing. In 1971, Manson and several of his followers were found guilty and sentenced to death. However, their sentences were commuted to life in prison when California temporarily abolished the death penalty in 1972. The Manson family murders left an indelible scar on American culture. They are often cited as the symbolic end of the 1960s. The optimism and idealism of the Summer of Love died on Cielo Drive. The idea that you could trust strangers, that peace and love would conquer all, was shattered. The story became a cultural touchstone, a cautionary tale about the dark side of counterculture, the dangers of charismatic leaders, and the terrifying potential for evil that can lie dormant in ordinary people. Charles Manson remained a figure of dark fascination until his death in 2017, a permanent symbol of the moment a generation's dream turned into a nightmare. The legacy of the Manson family serves as a chilling reminder that the line between devotion and delusion can be terrifyingly thin. Thank you for watching. If you found this exploration into one of history's darkest chapters interesting, please hit the like button and subscribe for more deep dives into fascinating and complex stories. See you next time.